Okay, we're here with Michael Baldwin of Core Architects. And Michael, we're going to talk a little about the Accelerate Leadership Forum that you're a recent graduate of. Sure loved having you. Tell everyone a little about you and what you do for the Core Architects and a little about Core Architects.
Sure. Thanks, Tim. Like you said, my name is Michael Baldwin. I'm a vice president at Core Architects. I'm an architect. I manage client groups in our office, several different projects, as well as the day-to-day operations of our firm, staffing, RFQs, strategic planning, kind of all of that stuff. It's a small firm, so a lot of us have to do a lot each. I was really fortunate to join Core almost 6 years ago. Grew up in Northwest Arkansas and went away to go on an adventure in Chicago for about 9 years. Worked for a large firm and had a great opportunity to come back at Core and really just had no idea how high the potential could be there. It just seemed like a nice small firm with good people to work with, and we've really just had a lot of fortunate opportunities, especially in the Pinnacle area and Rogers. Lots of really high quality construction, office buildings, the AMP, just you name it, and then. Yeah. Similarly, great experience with opportunities working on projects with the University of Arkansas too, where the level of quality and complexity of the construction is really sort of unmatched in this area. So,
Michael, if you were a CEO of a company and you were thinking about placing someone in this next Accelerate Leadership Forum that we're going to have, the Accelerate Leadership Forum 11, you were in 10. What might you share with the group?
It's an incredible program for people that as CEO might see somebody with promise and sort of natural ability to lead, but hasn't had the opportunity for refinement and exposure to other leadership opportunities. And putting an employee in one of these forums, I think it builds their skill set. It gives them the ability to empathize with others and understand motives and the opportunities for the company, to where that person comes out of the forum not focused so much on how they complete their job, but how they can make the organization as a whole better and how they can motivate others to really reach their own potential.
Tell me, is there any one thing that you got out, the one big thing that comes to mind that's at the top of your list that you might have learned through this process?
Yeah, it's a really simple concept that, Tim, I know you and Ed mentioned on a regular basis, and I've used this as a framing mechanism for decision making ever since. And it's this concept of understanding the difference between what's important and what's urgent. Important a lot of the time should overrule what's urgent, and sometimes it's hard to distinguish the difference. But one of the things I found through going through the forum is that time that you take every month or every 2 weeks to be a part of the process, to be part of the conversations and talking with peers, that helps to step back and widen your perspective and gives you a more innate sense of that, what's important and what's urgent, and mm-hmm. stepping back from the intensity of a moment and seeing things in a more comprehensive way.
Okay, I appreciate that. So we think we have one of the finest facilitators that these peer advisory groups have, in Ed Nicholson. He's been doing it for about half of the ones we've done, and so many of the last ones. Any thoughts on Ed? I know you and him stayed close together, and you worked on some challenges and stuff.
Ed he's just one of those sort of special kind of people where you can tell he's brilliant, but he's not trying to make you think that. He has a very sort of quiet humility. He's immensely talented, has a way with words, an incredible musician as well. I think, he said that's been the hardest part about the challenges of this last year with COVID was, for the first time in decades, he didn't have a regular schedule of playing live music with friends, and see, the way he talks about his music and how that's important in his life, to me it sets a good example for, maintaining a balance between what you're trying to do professionally and then, what really does fulfill you personally, and tending to those things with, with similar focus and similar intensity, creates more well-rounded and happy individual. And, happy is probably the best word I could use to describe it. He just always in a great mood, and he has a way of understanding things and helping others to understand things too, and making people feel at ease.
Yeah. If you think in terms of what you might share with a candidate who's going to come in here, it's a pretty big commitment of time, 4 hours a month. And, it's important that if we sign up, that we get people there so that we can have the opportunity to have the growth that we're looking for, and a very good return on investment, which we will have if people are able to make every one of them. Share anything you'd like to about that?
I mean, again, it's kind of that important versus urgent concept. 4 hours a month, out of your 40-hour work week, presupposing anybody works a 40-hour work week, that's a pretty small percentage of your actual time. And it's after every session, I came away sort of rejuvenated and really reinvigorated for what I'm trying to do, because thinking through a different mindset, not focusing so much on all the obstacles, but seeing potential, seeing opportunity. And really, when it comes down to just the amount of time that you're investing in it, I mean, it's a pretty high yield investment for a small amount of risk. And for me, the personal growth and the increase in confidence more than made up for the amount of time that I wasn't directly working on, something that's billable. Because when you invest in yourself, in an earnest way, it always pays off. And that's really what this forum is an investment in yourself. Every
now and then we find that we'll have someone in our group that maybe just didn't work out. And it's sometimes, if we really do an autopsy without blame, we could probably find a lot of things we did what maybe it was the wrong hire or something. We should have never hired that person or something. But that's kind of why we think you invite people to their future elsewhere with dignity, respect, and compensation. And you were able to apply that and beautifully, and I love that. And I just think that's a classy way to do. The dignity and respect is hard to give if you really were going to give it, and you did it, and it worked out well for you.
Well, and it's again testament to the experience and wisdom that you and Ed both have offered within the constraints of the actual sessions. But in this particular case, this was outside of our session, and being able to approach you guys and throw a problem out there and ask for advice and ask for some help talking through how to address the problem and solve it. I mean, it was really critical in getting through what was probably one of the toughest professional moments that I've had, and it made it so much easier to have that relationship and have that connection to you guys to be able to talk about those things. That's another important thing about this forum is it's the time spent in the forum. It's going over these principles and concepts, but it's also establishing these relationships that are going to last, well beyond the time we're in the forum. I know I've made some, established and reestablished some really good relationships directly from participation in the forum with individuals, business and personal. And it's those connections, especially a place like Northwest Arkansas, that's how you can be successful. That's how you can be fulfilled in what you're doing is by linking up with the people who can help you, and then you can help other people too. And it's just a nice way of sort of sharing the wealth of intelligence and wisdom that we've got here.
So anything to kind of close us out here that you want to add that might just come to mind that would be helpful to someone considering this Accelerate Leadership Forum?
To me, what was one of the things that was really great, it just was almost a beautiful thing that you could put together a diverse group of people. I mean, the age range, 20, 30 years between the youngest and oldest, the level of experience, the type of work, because of the diversity of professional backgrounds that everybody has as a feature of this process, is coming into it objectively, without having any concerns about competition, and it just having an open and safe environment to talk about these things and to air out some challenges and problems, knowing that you've got support and there's not any judgment about how you're doing it. That I think is, maybe one of the most valuable things, because in most businesses, when you get into a tough situation, a lot of the time it's because nobody's ever been there before. And so how would you solve it on your own? And that feeling of, not having resources, not having a backboard is tough, and it doesn't lead to good decisions. But when there's a group that collectively has everyone's best interests in mind and can talk through intelligently about problems, it's very reassuring, and it gain confidence. And when you have confidence, good things happen.
Michael, I really appreciate your time. And one of the neat things about you and Dusty's a newer member of CO Forum Benton County, the leader of your architectural firm, and he was kind enough to invest in you. It had to feel good, him coming to you and investing in you. And then you've encouraged another gentleman that's going to be with us in Accelerate Forum 11. We really appreciate that. And we look forward to getting to be with him and try to enhance his ability to have great success.
Well, I'm looking forward to it for him and for you as well. Tim, I can't thank you and Ed enough for the opportunities and experiences that I had in the Accelerate Leadership Forum.